like me to start off with that subject first, or go ahead with my reports and skip to that later?
Let's do the reports first.
Okay.
Thank you.
Basically, reports follow the same setup as previous months. Collector's report, again, is showing a difference which reconciles to their affidavits when they make changes to previous tax bills, making corrections, taking the old bill out, putting the new bill in. So the difference between the deposits and what their receipts register shows are again those affidavits, which, you know, I say this every month, I want to dig into that a little further, but I still haven't had time to really get into the collector's office and look at that in detail.
So, while this report doesn't show a zero balance, they have documentation that purports to take it back to zero, is that to the affidavits?
Zero balance on,
That our receipts and our deposits somehow equal at the end of the day.
I can't say that for sure
Okay.
by looking at this. I mean, the difference does balance to their affidavit, so I assume that is the issue, you know. I think it's just a reporting problem,
Right.
you know.
Okay.
Not saying that any money that should be going into the bank account is missing.
Right.
That's not what I'm saying. So I'm not trying to allude to that. And the collector did also provide reconciliation summaries on his bank accounts, and I provided those for you also, just with the first page of each bank statement to show his reconciliations on those accounts. And last month, you had also asked for a copy of the bank statement from the circuit clerk's office, and I included that this month. You can see notes on some of the accounts, such as the clerk's page and the assessor's page, where I'm verifying and tying these amounts to the entries going into the accounting system for those revenue accounts.
Okay. You guys have any questions?
I don't think so.
Jim? Okay.
Okay. I also need to bring up in question, and this came up because we received a deposit receipt in the mail from People's Bank. There was a $6,000 deposit made into an account, and there was wording or reference on it to Lincoln County Council of Aging, and so we thought it was an error of the bank and tried to forward that on to Lincoln County Council of Aging, and they said, no, that's not our account, that's your account. And so So I'm a little confused and kind of wondering what this account's about, and I don't know if you know anything about it.
Well, Kim's done a little bit of legwork on this. The money is, the check is actually from the Delta Center, which is totally unrelated to the Toccoa account. The money for the Delta Center is for the Linc, because the Linc provides transportation services to developmentally disabled people. What we have to figure out, the budgeted amount out of general revenue that we give to the Linc every year is, do they get that plus what the Delta Center sends, or is the Delta Center reimbursing us for what we give to the Linc? Now, you have a call into somebody at the Delta Center or somewhere, don't you?
They called me back and they explained that that's what the $6,000 was for. It's from rides that were provided from sometime in '09 to present day. So they're supposed to be sending me some information on that.
Very, very likely it's a reimbursement for things that we've paid for, but it's in the wrong account. But there's a deposit ticket
Correct.
for that account. I don't know why we have a Toccoa account. I know that somehow my name's on the Toccoa account and the clerk's name is on the Toccoa account, but I don't know. We pay what we give to Toccoa
General revenue, I believe.
goes directly to them. So the account had $480, I believe, $450.
$498.88, and then the $6,000.
And then the 6,000. So we need to figure out a couple things. Number one, how did the check end up in the Toccoa bank account? And then why do we have a Toccoa account? And then the easy part will be figuring out how do we classify the $6,000, because it's ours now. It needs to be put back into general revenue somehow. And I don't know if we have a line for Delta Center reimbursements. And now I don't think we do.
Yeah, I mean, that would be a question too, why it's a separate account like that and not doesn't just go into general revenue with everything else, and
Right.
not certain, so. I mean, maybe if it was, possibly if it was because it was a state grant or something, in some of those cases we are supposed to keep separate accounts for those things, but it's from the Delta Center.
Right, Toccoa should never enter into this, but fortunately, at some point, maybe we did get a grant and opened up a Toccoa account, but there's $498.80 or whatever in there. Where did it come from? Why is it there? But we know where 6,000 of it belongs anyway. So the Delta Center gentleman is supposed to provide you with some more information.
Actually, their accountant, yes. She's supposed to be emailing me a copy of the check stub. So,
Ask them that I be informed, whatever information you get. just let
Right.
me know.
Okay.
And then I want to also let you know, I will probably be out of the office quite a bit on Thursday. I plan to go and visit with Ellsbury Special Road District. And I'm going to start the initial stages of the yearly audit that I'm required to make for them. So I'll be out of the office most of that day.
Okay.
And with the scheduling, I'm just kind of wondering the scheduling of payroll and AP.
We have AP and payroll today, so it should be in your hands this afternoon.
That would be everything I had then, and I guess we move on to the issue of the PA check. And like Christy said, she and I are both following the payment policy that was established. I guess there's some disagreement as to interpretation of statutes and whether or not the payment policy is contradictory to those statutes. I think our county is not the only one that's gone through some of these questions. From what I gather from speaking with June, who's the auditor of Boone County, they have worked through a lot of the issues themselves with the help of their county council and set up policies and, of what they decided would be good process to follow. for these accounts, and I think that's something, apparently we need to do the same.
Right.
You know, I'm just following standards that I believe, you know, are auditing standards. Asking for documentation and verification to provide transparency and accountability for the spending. The documentation I ask for is, you know, simple things, basically. In this case, I was asking for verification of what employees attended the conference, the Missouri Association of Drug Court Professionals conference, because Leah had turned in receipts to be paid that showed 2 people eating. And the reimbursement she requested was just to herself. So it was a simple question that started it all, just, Leah, please let me know who else attended the conference with you, or what 2 officials or employees attended the conference. This is standard accounting and auditing policy and procedure to ask for that type of supporting documentation. You know, it just provides transparency and accountability for the spending. It would not be right for us to pay, and not that I was accusing her or had not already decided this is what had happened. She could have maybe gone to the conference, taken her husband along. They both ate dinner and possibly be turning in the ticket for us to pay for his meal, which we shouldn't be doing. So I have to ask those questions.
Right.
You know, if I don't already have that supporting documentation with the receipt, I have to ask those questions. That's part of my job. So I take a little bit of offense to being threatened to have charges filed against me for doing my job. You know, and I take a little bit of offense when I ask her, what's the problem with just giving me that information? And she says, because I don't have to. Because she, for some reason, feels that she's above the standards and law that everybody else has to follow. I don't know. But that's the impression I get. And, you know, there's a saying that says, he who has nothing to hide hides nothing. So when somebody does, you know, take such offense to being asked questions like that, it throws up a red flag. You know, and it's, I guess she took it personally, you know, that I would ask and not just trust that she wouldn't do that. But it's, as an auditor, it's not my job to trust people.
Right.
It's
I would
my
agree with that.
job to document and verify, you know, what did take place. And that expenses being paid for are proper expenses incurred, you know, for doing the operations of your office. So the fact that this became a big ordeal and I'm being accused of consistent banter back and forth, you know, I take offense and take that personally myself. But trying to keep, you know, personal opinions and attitudes and things like that out of it, you know, I don't know, we just need some, like somebody said, we all need to get together and sing Kumbaya and try to get along, you know, try to get along and work these things out and not, you know, try to get so personal. I mean, it was even brought into the conversation of who I supported or didn't support during the campaign. And, you know, that should not be brought into the equation at all. You know, it's just ridiculous in my opinion. But, so I guess that, you know, we're just looking to the commission for guidance. I'm looking to other county auditors for guidance. And I'm getting, you know, I'm getting where I feel some good advice from some people that I very, you know, have a lot of respect for. They've been in office for several years and they've worked through these issues themselves within their counties. So, you know, it may be something that we all need to bring to the table and sit down and realize that there are several statutes, some that contradict others.